onto the foot. That's 18mm diameter, the same as the bottom of the top. Now, unlike the top, which I could more or less put the finish on, this I can't, because that's going to go narrower and then come back out to that little decorative bit there. There's an 8mm deep bottom part, and I've turned a mortise in this to fit on this jam chuck when it reversed, to do the drilling and routing the same as the top, which is what I'm going to do next. This is like hollowed a bit like a trumpet. The walls are still quite thick, probably a 6 to 8mm, maybe a bit more than that. So that's still quite a bit of thickness there, but there is a trumpet shape. I'm going to possibly stick a brass slug inside this, depending on how much material I take away finally, because I can rework this. Anything else? Oh yeah, I'll put a brass plate on the bottom once all the tensegrity, just to give it some mass at the bottom of this, to make it more stable when it's standing up, so it doesn't knock over so easy. So I'm going to take that off with the Japanese saw, reverse it, size that tenon so that it's a jam chuck, and then I'll do the drilling and routing. Right, I've cut loads of little 60mm square, just over 2mm thick laminates, and I've glued off enough for 2 rings in the centre, these central rings. I've layered it so that it goes red, white, red, which should be like red, gold, red when it's that comes out a lovely golden colour. So I've just got to wait for the glue to dry. I've drilled and routed the base, so I'm just waiting for glue to dry now before I can turn the rings. So the foot is done, routed, turn those little, I've matched that little decoration on the bottom, in the middle, and on the top, you know, the bottom of the top, the start of the stem. So those are both pretty well ready. Now I'm onto the rings, and what I've done, took one of the blanks and just double-sided taped it down to a flat piece of wood, and turned it away, most with the bowl gouge and then with a skew, just to straighten the edges up. Before I did that, I've marked off where it needs to be cut off, or I've marked the centre at least, a line across the centre, and there'll be some drilling, 2 holes on that centre line, for on one just one hole, sorry, on each of the things, for the tensegrity cord to go through between the 2 rings. Right, this is where I am. I've turned those rings, the 2 rings, drilled the hole where the tensegrity wire is going to go through in both of them, and I've also used a Dremel with a sanding drum, or a Fordham with a sanding drum, to just follow that curve into the thing, so that is a continuous circle. I think it looked better. I used an 1/8 inch chisel to hollow that out, and I should have done that rather than trying to do it with the router, because it came out much better on the one there. I did that. There's a tiny little gap under one of these joints, so I'm going to join this now with epoxy, because they are not joined, with epoxy resin, and leave it overnight to soak. I'm centering that hole by eye using the 4 dots and the centre of this to line it up. There'll be a bit of hand finishing. I've took that down to a fine sandpaper, but there's still more to do on that, but I'll do it by hand. So yeah, that's where we are. And once it's dry, I can cut the segment out where they overlap, and just get ready to cable it up. So that's where I am. So I'll be finishing it tomorrow. Thanks for watching.